Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe. Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Vrishabhanu Dadi Navashashileke Lalita Shaki Guna Ramita Vishake. Vrishabhanu Dadi Navashashileke Lalita Shaki Guna Ramita Vishake. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. 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 Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Karunam Kurumai Karuna Varite. Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite. Karunam Kurumai Karuna Varite. Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. 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 Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe. Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe. Vrishabhanu Dadi Navashashileke Lalita Shake Guna Ramita Vishake. Vrishabhanu Dadi Navashashileke Lalita Shake Guna Ramita Vishake. Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite. Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite. Karunam Kurumai Karuna Varite. Sanaka Sanatana Pani Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Gokulataruni Mandala Mahite, Gokulataruni Mandala Mahite, Gokulataruni Mandala Mahite, Gokulataruni Mandala Mahite. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Radhe, bolo, Radhe, 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 Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Astuttara Sajashishimad ISKCON founder Acharya His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Prem Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Syama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki, Shri Brajabhumi Vrindavan Dham ki, Shri Vrishabhani Devi ki, Ganga Mai ki, Yamuna Mai ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Tulsi Maharani ki, Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. Shri Shri Radharani Janma Mahotsava ki. So, today is the glorious day of Srimati Radharani's appearance. And I remember that Srila Prabhupada said that his father, Gaur Mohan De, had prayed for his son to become a great devotee of Radharani. So, without a doubt, Srila Prabhupada became a very a great Maha devotee of Srimati Radharani. Radharani is known as Karuna Maya. She is compassion personified. She is also Jagat Ma. She is the mother of the entire universe. And of course, when Lord Krishna was in Dwarka, he saw his beautiful form reflected in the marble floor of his palace. And he thought, it is such a beautiful form. But when I think of Radharani, I see that her attraction and love for me is millions of times more attracted than my attraction to my own form. So Srimati Radharani, how can I conceive of how much love and devotion she has? So in this way, Lord Krishna was hankering. He was thinking that I am the attractor of millions and millions of cupids. Millions of cupids. And still, I, the attractor of cupids, I am so attracted to the beauty and devotion of Srimati Radharani. Rupa Goswami writes that Krishna is reflecting that when I awake in the morning, the brilliance of the sun is so beautiful. But unfortunately, at the time of dusk, the sun disappears and night falls. But then in the evening, the full moon arises, and the brilliance of the full moon is so cooling. But then again, at sunrise, the brilliance of the full moon is dissipated. So what can my dear Radharani be compared to, whose beauty and radiance shines both brilliantly in the day and the night? Like this, Krishna was hankering for tasting this Mahabhav, this wonderful love that Radharani has for him. One time, Rupa Goswami writes that Purnamasi she is actually Yogamaya personified. She was wandering through the forest of Vrindavan with some of her friends, Makara, one of the grandmothers of Radharani, and she was mentioning in the presence of Krishna and Madhumangala, she was mentioning that, oh, there's a beautiful girl, she will be coming to this forest very soon. And one of the gopis, one of the elderly gopis asked her, who is this? Who is this girl that's coming? And when Purnamasi mentioned the two syllables, Radha, immediately when Krishna heard these two syllables, the hairs on his body stood on end. So it's not that Krishna is not experiencing ecstatic love, ecstatic feelings for Radharani. He's also experiencing the ecstatic and manifesting the ecstatic symptoms described by Rupa Goswami. Tears flowing from the eyes, frothing of the mouth, shivering of the body, becoming stunned. All these wonderful symptoms that are exhibited by the gopis, even by, of course, Krishna in the form of Lord Chaitanya. Krishna is also feeling these ecstasies for Srimati Radharani. So these pastimes are going on, and Krishna, he appeared 5,000 years ago, and he instructed Srimati Radharani, Radharani, you have to come and engage in your wonderful transcendental pastimes with me. And Radharani said, oh, no, I don't want to go to that world of misery. And there'll be so many materialistic men who will want to see me. And I only want to see you, Krishna. I don't want to see any other male if I appear. And so Krishna said, don't worry, I'll arrange everything. So we know that when Lord Krishna appeared before Radharani, a few weeks before, and then by the mercy of Krishna, Vrishabhanu and Kirtida, a beautiful girl appeared in their home, in their palace. However, her eyes wouldn't open. Her eyes were closed shut. And Vrishabhanu and Kirtida were quite tormented. They were traumatized. Oh, our daughter, she's so beautiful, but she seems to be blind. However, Narada Muni appeared. And Narada Muni said, don't worry, this girl will give such fame and opulence to your family. And when the right person comes to visit your home to see her, her eyes will open. So we know that one day, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they came from Nandagram. They visited to see the beautiful child, Radharani. So many Brijvasis came to see Radharani. And also Krishna, he came with Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, little Krishna, little Gopal Krishna. And as everyone was having festivities and taking nice foodstuffs, Krishna snuck into Radharani's room where she was lying in the cradle. And with his lotus hands, he touched her eyes. And when she opened her eyes, lo and behold, she saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the son of Maharaj Nanda. This is the beginning of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So there's so many wonderful pastimes written by Rupa Goswami and other great devotees. Raghunath Das Goswami, he wrote the Dana Keli, Kumudi. Rupa Goswami wrote the pastime, taxation pastimes, Dana Keli Leela, where Radharani is trying to cross the river, Yamuna River, with her golden pots of ghee and yogurt. And Krishna dresses up like a government official, and he says, you have to pay some taxes if you want to cross this river, and if you have to go past me. In this way, Krishna was always Lalita, he was always joking, Dira Lalita. He was always having funny and humorous joking pastimes with Radharani. In fact, Radharani, in the early morning, she was lying in her bed in the late part of the evening, and she was speaking in her sleep. Oh, Krishna, you have to stop making so many jokes about me. Stop this joking. And if you dare touch my sari, I will tell your elders, I will complain to your father. In this way, she was speaking in her sleep talking. And when she opened her eyes, she saw that her elders were standing around her and nodding their head with great disapproval. So in this way, Rupa Goswami describes that Radharani was experiencing embarrassment in the mood of love of God. Radharani also experienced shyness. One time she was walking along the banks of the Yamuna River, and there was a cottage there where she had spent the evening with Krishna. And when she saw the cottage, she remembered this, and she suddenly became very, very shy, and she was looking around fearfully. Actually, Purnamasi arranges that when the gopis run to the forest in the dead of night, that the husbands of the gopis, they're always thinking, oh, my wife is sleeping next to me. But actually, Krishna is experiencing this parikiya ras, this lawless love with his gopis. But who are the gopis? So many millions of gopis appeared at the end of Dwapara Yuga. Many of them were great sages who had met Lord Ram in the Danda forest and had prayed that, Lord Ram, we see you as Vishnu. We see you with such awe and veneration. Aishvarya Leela, but we wish to relish this Madhurya Leela and this Parikiya Madhurya Leela. So please allow us to take birth as daughters of elderly gopis in Vrindavan in Dwapara Yuga. And so they were given this blessings. They were great sages, and they took birth as various gopis in the houses of the elderly gopis of Gokula. And then many wives of demigods also wanted to taste this Madhurya Ras. So they also came and appeared in the transcendental homes of the Brijbasis. And even other wives of various beings, Kinnaras and Gandharvas, they also were given the mercy to come and participate and taste this Parikiya Bhav, this Madhurya Ras in Vrindavan. So Narada Muni, he visited the house of Vishabhanu, and he was hoping that he would see Radharani. So when he came into the home, Kirtida and Vishabhanu, they took Radharani and put him on his lap. As soon as Radharani sat on his lap, Narada Muni went into complete ecstasy. His hairs were standing on end, and tears were flowing from his eyes like torrents of rain and bathing Radharani. And Radharani, who's so merciful, she manifested her complete form as Radha, the Ladini Shakti of Lord Krishna, to Narada Muni. In this way, Narada Muni got special mercy. We know that he also came near Kusham Sarovar in Vrindavan. And Purnamasi said, no, you can't come. You can't come in this area. This is the area where Radha and Krishna are having pastimes. And so he was allowed to enter into a kund, and he came out as a gopi. Narada Muni Kund is there, near Kusham Sarovara. And he's able to also relish this Madhurya Leela, this Madhurya Ras of Radha and Krishna. So there's so many wonderful pastimes given by Rupa Goswami, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also writes the wonderful book Chamatkara Chandrika, Chamatkara, where Jatila and Kutila, the sister-in-law of Radharani and the mother-in-law, every day Mother Yashoda had arranged that because Durvas Muni had given a benediction to Radharani, he had visited the home of Rishabhanu, and he'd given a benediction to Srimati Radharani that first of all, whatever you cook will be unparalleled. No one will ever be able to cook as nicely and tasty as you. And secondly, every day and every time you cook, it won't be ever the same preparation. It'll never be repeated again. And thirdly, whoever eats the food cooked by your hand, he will be very strong and healthy and live a long time. And fourthly, that person who takes foodstuffs cooked by your hand, he will be able to defeat all the demons, any of his enemies. So of course, Mother Yashoda was seeing so many demons coming and attacking Krishna. Putana, Trinavarta, Agasura, Shakadashura, all the various demons are coming every day to kill Krishna, sent by Kamsa. So Yashoda Mai, she convinced Jatila and Abhimanyu, Radharani should come and cook for Krishna. So every day she was cooking for Krishna in Yashoda Mai's kitchen. And of course Krishna was there, and he'd look through the lattices from his room. His room was an extension of Nanda Maharaj's palace. and it was made of beautiful Injanila gems and other wonderful, beautiful, opulent gems and jewels. And he'd look through the lattice and see his beloved Radharani, and he'd become very ecstatic. So in this way, Radha and Krishna were exchanging glances, and when Radharani would come back to Abhimanyu's home, Jatila would notice, oh, this Radharani, she's exhibiting some kind of loving feelings for another man. How is this appropriate? So she had a meeting with Kirtida, called the GBC. And she said, okay, from now on we have to forbid Radharani from going to this house of Yashoda Mai. After all, who has ever heard of a married woman going to another man's house and cooking for him every day? It's completely unacceptable. I mean, just because Durvasa Muni gave this benediction, still, this is transgressing the rules of etiquette for married women. The codes of conduct are being broken. She said, what if another great sage came like Vasishta? He came and he said that he blessed her that Radharani, any person you touch can have immortality. Then can Radharani go around touching different males? No, this is unacceptable. So Radharani was forbidden from going to the house of Yashoda Mai. This is written by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So Radharani, she's feeling such separation that she was burning up in the fever of separation from Krishna. And she was lying on the ground in her chamber. And the gopis, Vishaka and Lalita and many gopis were coming there, and they were trying to console her. And her body was so hot that they decided to make her a bed of fresh lotus petals and embellished with the sandalwood pulp and camphor to cool her down. When Radharani lay on this wonderful cooling bed, the entire bed turned into embers immediately from the burning of separation from Krishna. So this is also described by Uddhava to Krishna when he went to visit Radharani. This is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Anchalila. He says, Krishna, Lalita has written this message, that Lalita is saying that Srimati Radharani is lying on the ground and she's experiencing vyadi. Vyadi means disease, fever. And this fever is burning up her body, and her heart is like an earthen box in which molten gold is there. It is so hot. Krishna, you must go to Vrindavan and relieve Radharani of her feverish condition. So these were pastimes of separation written by the Rupa Goswami. So Krishna himself, over at the palace of Mother Yashoda, he was also feeling such separation from Radha. And Yashoda said, don't you like the cooking of Rohini, your other mother? She's cooking for you. And Krishna was not, he was so morose and feeling so moroseful that he was not the same. And Mother Yashoda was so disturbed by her son's moroseness. So then a plot was hatched. And one day, Jatila, she gave permission that Dhanishta, the friend of Radharani and Krishna, she could come to the house and request Radharani to make some nice sweets for Krishna, laddu and other sweets. And so Dhanishta went to the house. Radharani was lying there. She said, Radharani, wake up, your beloved is here. Immediately Radharani's eyes opened wide and she thought, oh, my beloved is here. She ran to the kitchen and she called Rupa Manjari. Rupa Manjari, get firewood, get ingredients. I'm going to cook nice sweets for my beloved. So as she was cooking, the kitchen became hotter and hotter. But because of the magic of Krishna Prema, the whole hot kitchen felt like the peaks of the Himalayan mountains. This is the magic of prema, that whatever should be hot is cold, whatever should be liquid becomes solid, whatever is solid becomes liquid. Just like when Krishna plays on his flute, sometimes the Yamuna River becomes so ecstatic, it becomes solid. And when Krishna is playing on his flute, sometimes all the stones and boulders along the Yamuna River, they melt in ecstasy. So, anyway, Radharani is cooking, and Dhanishta whispers into the ear of Vishaka something very interesting. And then, after Radharani finishes cooking and dispatches her wonderful foodstuffs with Dhanishta, she goes back in her room to lie down. And Vishaka comes into the room and whispers into Radharani's ear, some kind of a secret. So suddenly Vishaka runs out into the living room where Jatila is, and she's rolling on the ground and she's screaming, "Oh no, oh no, Radharani, she's been bitten by a serpent. She was out in the garden and she saw a jewel on the ground, and she thought she dropped one of her precious jewels. When she went to pick it up, it was actually the jewel on a serpent's head. And this serpent bit her on the hand, and now the poison is traveling up her body. Oh my goodness, what should we do? What should we do?" Jatila became hysterical, and she was so overwhelmed by anxiety. "Oh my goodness, call her husband, Abhimanyu, come. Go to the village, go down to the town, and find a Brahmin who knows the mantras for eliminating poisonous effects of a snake." So then Radharani suddenly opened her eyes and said, "I have taken a vow from Durvasa Muni. Any man that touches me other than my husband, I will give up my body. So you can't, no doctors can come and help me, that male doctors." So then Vishaka said, "Well, the son of Maharaj Nanda in Nandagram, he has subdued the Kaliya serpent, and he killed the Agasura serpent. He seems to be very expert in the way of subduing snakes. Why don't we call him?" And then Radharani again opened her eyes and said, "If you mention that woman thief who has slandered my name again all over Gokula, I will immediately give up my body." So, in this way, another suggestion from Vishaka was, "Let us go and ask Purnamasi." So off they went, running towards Nandagram, to the house of Purnamasi. And when they went there to see Purnamasi, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't know these tantric arts. But Garga Muni's daughter, Gargi, she knows so many mantras. Her father is such a great sage. Perhaps you should go and ask Gargi." So they went to Garga Muni's house and asked Gargi, "Oh, please, do you know these mantras that can neutralize the poison of a very, very poisonous snake?" Gargi said, "Oh, I'm not very masterful in this art, but I have a sister who just came from Varanasi, Vidyavali, and she's married to a very aristocratic Brahmin in Varanasi, in Benares. And she knows so many mantras and tantras, how to neutralize the poison of snakes and other mantras and so on. So why don't we ask her?" So they approached her sister, Vidyavali, who suspiciously had a bluish complexion. and "My dear Vidyavali, could you please come to Abhimanyu's house? Jatila was on the floor saying, you will purchase our lives if you simply save my daughter-in-law. Please, please help." And Vidyavali was saying, "Well, I'm not in the habit of going door to door in villages. I'm the wife of a very aristocratic Brahmin in Benares. I don't go door to door and chanting these mantras for snakes and so on. That's beneath me. And then Vishaka said, "Oh, lady, oh, Vidyavali, you don't understand the devotion of the Brijbasis. Be careful. These devotions of the Brijbasis are so overwhelming. You have no idea. You should immediately apologize for this offense you've made." So Vidyavali said to her, she said, "What about my husband? I mean, he's such an aristocratic Brahmin. I will tarnish his reputation." Like this. And Vishaka said, "No, these are the greatest devotees. You simply help them." So then Vidyavali, she surrendered, she agreed. And she said, "There's one thing, Jatila, one thing is, I have this tantric mantra in my throat, and I'm chewing betel nuts, and along with the mantra, I have to transfer these betel nuts into the mouth of the patient. Do you think that's okay?" And Jatila said, "I've never heard of such a medication, such a process. I've never heard of someone putting his chewed betel nuts into the mouth of another person. What is this?" And then Vishaka said, "In a situation of life and death, one should resort to whatever means to save the life of that person." So off they went, running off to the house of Abhimanyu. And there Radharani was lying on the ground, and Vidyavali came in with Jatila and Kutila. They're all traumatized, hysterical. And then Vidyavali said, "Oh, remove her sari because I have to touch her body and see where the poison is going." So as Krishna was touching Radharani's lotus feet, Radharani started going into ecstasy. And Krishna said, "Oh, this poison is very powerful. Look at this poor patient. Her hairs are standing on end, so many things. Everyone get out of the room. I have to summon this serpent." So everyone went out of the room, and Krishna told them, "You come back in 3 hours. I have to spend time with this patient." And Radharani was just in ecstasy, you know, and so on. So after 3 hours, Jatila and Vishaka and Lalita, they all came back, but they were not allowed in the room. And Vishaka told Jatila, "Put your ear to the door and you listen to what's going on." So as they were all listening, putting their ear to the door, Vidyavali, Krishna, he imitated the voice of the serpent, and Vidyavali said, "My dear serpent, where have you come from?" "I've come from Mount Kailash." "Oh, and who sent you?" "Lord Shiva sent me." "Why?" "Someone has offended my expansion, Durvasa Muni." Who offended?" "Jatila, the mother-in-law of Radharani." "How is she offended?" "She has questioned the chastity of Radharani. I gave her a blessing that she would always maintain this strict vow of chastity, just like lines in a stone. And what else? And she has also insulted my benediction that whatever Radharani cooks, that person will be very healthy and live a long time. And now she's stopped this son of Maharaj Nanda from taking the food. And my expansion of Gopiswar is there to protect all the inhabitants of Vrindavan. In this way, the serpent was saying. And then Vidyavali said, "Well, why didn't you just bite Jatila?" And he said, the serpent says, in the voice of the serpent, he says, the pain that Jatila will experience from the death of her daughter-in-law, and I will also bite her son, the pain is far more extreme than directly biting her. She will have to live in such great pain for the rest of her life when her son and daughter-in-law die. So in this way, Jatila was on the other side of the door, and she, oh no, it's all my fault, it's all my fault. I'm such a crazy woman, please forgive me. My dear Shiva, oh my Durvas Muni, forgive my offenses. From now on, Radharani can do whatever she wants. She can go wherever she wants in this way. And then the serpent said, are you sure? If you ever do this again, I'll come. You better promise. So like this, Jatila, I promise. Please, you have purchased me. You have purchased my loyalty forever. Like this. So all the Jatila and the gopis came inside the room, and they said, Radharani, how are you feeling now? And Radharani said, I'm feeling very, very nice, very good. And then they were saying, Vidyavali, the female doctor, oh, we should go now, we should go back to Gargi's house, it's very late. And Jatila, no, it's midnight. You can't go, it's very dangerous, so many wild animals in the forest, tigers and so on. You just stay the night. And actually, maybe the poison might be lingering. So you better stay near the patient. And then Jatila said, I have a room upstairs on the roof with a very large bed, and you can stay there. We'll have Radharani lie there, and you can stay with Radharani. In this way, Radha and Krishna spent the night together on the roof of Abhimanyu's house. So like this, the astonishing, ecstatic pastimes of Radha and Krishna are being revealed to us by the great, great acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Rupa Goswami. So many wonderful pastimes are there. In the Vidagdha Madhava, actually, Rupa Goswami was traveling to Jagannath Puri, and he was going through the city of a place called Saraswati village in Orissa. And when he was sleeping, the goddess of learning came into his dreams. And Rupa Goswami had intended to write a play about the glories of Radha and Krishna, about the glories of Krishna in Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka. But Saraswati came to him and said, Vrindavana Parichaja Padamikam Nadigachati. The son of Maharaj Nanda never leaves Vrindavan. Why are you writing a play about him going to Mathura and Dwarka? This is not allowed. This is not acceptable. That's a different Leela. That's Aishvarya Leela. This Leela in Vrindavan is pure Madhurya Prema Leela. So you have to write two plays. And so when Rupa Goswami met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri, Mahaprabhu said, yes, Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. You must write a play about Krishna in Vrindavan, experiencing the most intimate pastimes with the inhabitants of Vrindavan, completely devoid of any awe veneration. In Dwarka, everyone knows Krishna is God, and all these queens are all Lakshmi Devis. And they know that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that flow of mercy, that flow of love is a little bit compromised by this awe and veneration. And the devotees, the Vaishnavas, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we don't care about this awe and veneration. We simply are concerned like Madhavendra Puri. Oh my Lord of Mathura, when will I attain your lotus feet? Madhavendra Puri said, let the Vedas personified chant mantras. Let the Brahmins study all the Vedas, the Veda Vadaratis. I simply want to remember the son of Maharaj Nanda who was herding little calves in the courtyard of Maharaj Nanda. That's all I want. So Madhavendra Puri, he's considered to be the root of the tree of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He appeared before Gauranga Mahaprabhu to set things up, and he's actually an incarnation of a Kalpavriksha tree in the spiritual world. So, in the Vidagdha Madhava it's described Srimati Radharani is walking through the forest, and she's with Vishaka and Lalita, and she hears the flute playing of the cowherd boy Krishna. And immediately her whole body becomes overwhelmed with shivering. And one Gopi, Bhadra, she is from the another camp. We won't mention Chandravali, but she's the competitor of Radharani. Why is Radharani shivering? What's going on? And Vishaka said, oh, the wind is blowing, it's quite cold. And no, it's not cold. Why is Radharani shivering like this? So one time Radharani, she saw a picture of Krishna that Vishaka had drawn. And suddenly she became overwhelmed in the mood of unmada, madness. She became mad. And she told Vishaka and Lalita, she said, I'm a condemned woman, for I'm simultaneously attracted to 3 males. One is, he's in this picture, this beautiful blue monsoon colored person. And when I see it, my throat can't, my limbs, everything becomes stunned. I'm not able to speak. And then there's another male whose name is Krishna. And when I hear those 2 syllables, all the hairs on my body stand on end. And then there's another person who's playing on a flute. And when the flute enters into my ears, my entire body becomes overwhelmed with trembling and shuddering. In this way, I'm a condemned woman. I'm simultaneously attracted to 3 males. And then Vishaka said, Radharani, what are you saying? It's the same person. It's that great hero of Vrindavan. Radharani says, who is this fearless young man who is traversing through the forest of Vrindavan with his flute to his lips, his authorized messenger, who is plundering from the vault of my heart the treasure of my patience? In this way, beautiful poetry is given by Rupa Goswami. One time, Krishna came with some beautiful flowers for Radharani. And he was trying to win the glance of Srimati Radharani. And Radharani is known as a left-wing gopi. She's very contrary. She's known as contrary. When Krishna approaches her, she frowns at him. And when he tries to touch her sari, she shows a mood of anger, although internally she's very pleased. So this is Radharani's mood, left-wing gopi. So Krishna brought her these flowers, and she immediately gave him a sidelong glance, sudden glance. And Krishna suddenly, when her eyes met his, he became surprised, and not only did he drop the flowers, but he dropped his flute. And Radharani grabbed the flute and put it between the pleats of her sari. And then she stole away into another forest. And she had brought the flute, and she addressed the flute. Oh, you troublesome flute. You are constantly numbing the hands of my Shaki gopis, and they're not able to do their household, their wifely duties. Oh, you troublesome flute. By the sound of your music, all my Sakis, they're dragged away from the laps of their husbands into the forest. Oh, you troublesome flute. In the presence of the elders, my Sakis and gopis, their clothing becomes loosened by the sound of your flute. Their waist belts become loosened. Rascal flute. From now on, you won't cause any trouble, any tribulation to my Saki friends. I will hold you here and you won't be allowed to be in the hands of Krishna. The gopis also were meditating. What is this flute? I mean, he's hard, he's full of holes, he's juiceless, he's full of knots. What great austerities has he performed that he's always abiding in the hands of the son of Maharaj Nanda? What great austerities has his flute performed? He's always drinking the nectar of Krishna's lips. So Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy were reciting these beautiful poems written by various Goswamis like Rupa Goswami. And this flute is so presumptuous that he's always drinking the nectar of another male's lips, although he is male himself. He is so bold that we know the lips are the property of the gopis. Why is he always there drinking the nectar of the lips of the son of Maharaj Nanda? In this way, the gopis were like, how did he get there? What great austerities did he perform? Or sometimes they'd feel envy and ecstatic love. Who is this flute? What's this flute anyway? What is he? Like that. So in this way, so many wonderful pastimes with the gopis and Krishna's flute playing. Sometimes Radha and Krishna would meet in the various kunjas of Vrindavan, and they'd have what is called the battle of love. So one time Radha and Krishna were having a battle of love in the kunja, and they saw Lalita coming. Now Lalita is a very fiery person. She's always chastising Krishna and protecting Radharani. And so as she was coming to the kunj, Krishna jumped behind a tree and hid. And Radharani came out and met Lalita. And Lalita said, so, what have you been up to? Radharani, where's your beloved? Lalita is saying, where is your beloved? And Radharani is like, who knows? Like this, pretending. Lalita said, all the flowers in your hair are completely thrown on the ground. Your beautiful necklace, full of wonderful, valuable jewels, is so broken. So many jewels are falling on the ground. And your flower garland is crushed by the embrace of Krishna. Oh, why are you telling lies? Where is Krishna? At that point, Krishna jumps out and says, oh, just see this Radharani. All my peacock feathers are all strewn on the ground. She's attacked me. Just see this cunning girl. And then Radharani looks at Krishna and says, the crimes that you like to accuse others of, the very crime is what you're very expert at committing. Like this, these pastimes are going on in the 12 forests of Vrindavan. So this is Srimati Radharani. Lord Krishna, in this age of Kali, he doesn't send an avatar. Many times the Kali Yuga avatar of Lord Chaitanya is an expansion or avatar of Krishna. But in this Kali Yuga, Krishna himself comes. So this is a special Kali Yuga. And he comes, there's the Bahiranga and the Antaranga. So the internal reason for Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Krishna coming in the mood of Radharani, Mahabhav, is to taste this fathomless love of God, this Prema Sagara, this ocean of love, Prema Sagara, that Radharani is experiencing for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is what Gauranga Mahaprabhu wants to taste, because he can't imagine the depth of love that Radha has for him. Externally, Bahiranga is coming to freely give this prema, this love of God, freely. You don't have to be fit, you don't have to be qualified. Anyone can get this mercy. Kirata Hunandra Pulinda Pulka Shambira Shambhayavana Kasharaya Yene cha papa tadapa shraya shraya Sudyanti tasmai prabhavishnave namaha. In the second canto is described that whether you're a tribal born in Africa, Kirata, Hunandra, the Huns, they went all over Asia murdering and killing and raping. Hunandra, Andhra Pradesh, some tribals in Andhra. Pulinda, the Chinese, all different types of people, they can be given this mercy if they surrender to the Guru Parampara, the great acharyas in the line of Lord Chaitanya. By these great personalities, one can get this prema. Prema Pumarta Mahan, that this goal of love of God is being given freely. Even the demigods in the spirit, in the heavenly planets, the Gandharvas, the Apsaras, the Kinnaras, all the various personalities throughout the universe, they want to take birth in this wombs of those who are in the movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and participate in the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya is trying to give us Patita Pavan Hetu Tava Avatar Mo Samo Patita Prabhu No Poibe Ar. He's in the mood, Krishna in the mood of Radharani. He's simply trying to give it freely. Come and take. When he went to Benares, he's saying, I'm trying to give this love of God, but here no one wants it. They're simply criticizing Lord Chaitanya. Oh, he's so sentimental. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he practiced such humility, although he's God, that he sat where people wash their feet and put their, clean their feet. And Prakashananda Saraswati and 60,000 disciples were looking at him, and Lord Chaitanya was glowing, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he converted them all to this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, this pure bhakti. And the Buddhists in South India also, they were trying to poison him, and a big bird came, maybe it was Garuda, and picked the huge plate up and dropped it on the Buddhist leader. And they all became devotees. Even the Mohammedan Pathans in Mathura, they arrested the associates of Lord Chaitanya, but he converted the Mohammedan soldiers to pure love of God. And they would say, Lord Chaitanya didn't mind, he didn't qualify anyone. Everyone unqualified, he qualified us to experience this pure prema bhakti through the chanting of the holy name. So let us glorify Radharani today, and let us take shelter and pray for the mercy of Srimati Radharani. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I think it's darshan time.